We turn now to chapter 8 in the Revelation and the opening of the seventh and final seal. The celestial praise of chapter 7 now gives way to silence. There are no anguished cries of the martyrs. There is no shaking earth. There are no terrified screams of those anticipating cataclysmic judgment. There are no multitudes gathered around the throne singing songs to God and to the Lamb. Silence. Just silence. Silence is the context for prayer. Jewish sacrifices were offered in silence. Greco and Roman practice was for a period of silence to be observed before prayer in deference to the leader of that prayer. In the celebration of a Roman victory, the troops would raise their voices in acclamation and celebration until the emperor gave the signal for silence and prayer. In Revelation, we have a different kind of victory, though, and a different kind of crowd. The Lamb's victory is through sacrifice, and the salvation that he brings will be through resurrection. Before the prayer, the angels are given trumpets. In worship, trumpets were often used to signal, to announce. And when the last trumpet sounded, it was a call for the hosts of heaven to celebrate the reign of God and of his Messiah. We find also in this section an angel with a censer and a handful of incense. Incense was also a common theme for prayer, but only authorized persons could sense or use incense. So this presence of an angel with a censer and incense was a sign of legitimacy, and that the prayers that the saints were offering would be heard by God. It hearkens to the ancient psalm, "Let my prayer rise before you as incense." This was a legitimate prayer, and God would take it with seriousness. It is a prayer for divine help. The offering of this prayer gathers together all those prayers that have been offered in the last couple of chapters, but it also anticipates the trumpet cycle that is yet to come. After the prayers are offered and the incense ascends, the fires from heaven are thrown down on the earth. It is a signal that God's power and wrath are about to be revealed. Stay tuned. What I'd like you to do with this text this time is something a little different than we've done in the past. I'd like you to read the text again out loud, and then to sit with it for about 5 minutes in silence. Pay attention to your senses. When you think about the words, the phrases, the images, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? And what do you think God is saying to you in this silence? As always, take some time to journal with these things, or share them with friends. Invite them to participate in that 5 minutes of silence and see what their senses give. Thank you for joining me.